Transitions are super easy to use. I'm going to show you how to do those real quick. If you go up to the Effects tab up here at the top, that's going to give you a whole new layout on your Premiere. And mine is super laggy today. Come on, there we go. So it's going to give you over on the right-hand side, it's going to give you some tabs. So it's going to give you presets, audio effects, audio transitions, video effects, and video transitions. We'll get into these video effects. We're going to do that on the next project. We'll get way into that. But then you have video transitions. You twirl that down, and then you have like 3D motion. You twirl that down. These are the transitions in that. And there's really not a preview for them, so you just got to drag and drop and put them on. And that's all you need to do is you just grab one of the transitions, like a cube spin. You just drag and drop it, and you can drop it in between your clips. So if I drag and drop that one there, and then you can see it's going to transition into, I should have used some different footage so you can see some different footage. But you can kind of see, can you see that transition there between the two? That's your cube spin. If you don't like it, then you can just drag and drop another one on top of it. So now I've got the flip over spin. That's your transition. There's your dissolves. There's a bunch of different dissolves. Cross dissolves your normal one. There's your dip to black, so it's going to go all the way to black before it comes back in. Yeah.
Can you control how long the transition?
Yes, you can. So like if this dip to black, if it's like you're like that's way too quick, I can actually take and grab the end of that and stretch that out and make it as long as I want or as short as I want to on that. If you don't like it, you can click on it and delete it. And it also gives you some options over here too. To play with them. The dip to flat doesn't have much. Like if I did the flip over again, let me put the flip over on there. And if I click on it, it's going to give me a few more options that it doesn't do. So right now it's flipping, what's that flipping like? Clockwise kind of. So if I could reverse it, put a check mark in the reverse, and it's going to go the other direction. So now it's going counterclockwise. This one I can do a color on it too because it's how to have that gray in it. So I could do a fill color and I could make that. Man, I am super laggy today. Then I could change the fill color so it's not that gray color in the background. It's the white color. Or whatever color you choose. So if I choose a red. So now when I transition over that, it's going to be a red color instead. So you just got to kind of play with them too. Some of them are new, and I don't know, like a morph cut. I really don't know what a morph cut is.
The VR ones are really odd.
The VR ones are?
Yeah.
I haven't played with those at all. This one's even analyzing, so you got to wait for the morph cut to analyze before it finishes. So you'd have to go do something else and then come back and see what it does. Irises are like like you can see the cross there. Page pills, slides, wipe, zooms. So just play with those. This is a good project to do that, to play with some of your transitions and stuff in. Just check them out. Okay. Otherwise, a lot of times you'll use a cut. Okay, now I want to show you some a freeze frame real quick. This is super easy to do, and a couple of you have already found this. A freeze frame would just be like if you want to have something like if we want to have him frozen, with his head in the snow, you could freeze frame that so it would be like playing, then it stops, and then it plays more. Super easy to do. You do a right click on your clip, and it's just called this insert frame hold segment. If you do an add frame hold, the add frame hold is going to freeze at that point, and it's going to freeze the rest of the clip. Okay, I can show you what it does. So it cuts it, and it's going to make, this is just actually an image now, but he's going to see how he stays on his head. So it doesn't really do a lot. There's some other effects you could use with that. But if I do a right click, and if I do an insert frame hold segment, I click on that, that actually inserts an image. It splits your video apart, and it inserts an image inside of there, and then you can determine how long you want him to stand on his head. So if I push play, you'll see he's going to come along, and he's going to stand on his head, and then he's going to ski away. Okay, easy enough. So when he's standing on his head, you could put a title there or something, do whatever you wanted with it. Now that's an image, so I could stretch that out to 5 seconds, or I could shrink that in to 1 second, however long you wanted that that picture or that shot on the on your frame. Okay, you could also do it. There's also inside your let me see. There's a camera. I'm just not seeing it because my screen is not big enough. It's right there, and it's called Export Frame. So I could actually take a picture of this and export the frame, and then I could insert that in as an image, and then I can put that image in, do the same thing, and then you'd have some control over that too. But the other way is just a little bit quicker. Now some things you can do that are fun, like I've already got this guy reversed, so he's going up the hill. Is think about what you can do with like going forward and backwards at the same time. Like you could have him go forward a little bit and then backwards a little bit and then back forward. So if we take him, let's make him kind of like jog a little bit. Let's go. I'll show you what I mean. So let's cut out a little segment of him, maybe right there. I'm going to Control K that. I'm going to go down a little bit, maybe right there, and Control K that. So now I've got this little teeny sliver. See that little sliver right there? So I'm going to move this down a little bit. So I just have some space. And I'm going to take this clip, and I'm going to copy that. And then when I paste it, it's going to go wherever my scrub line is. So if I just paste, come on, don't be stubborn. It's going to be stubborn on me. There we go. My keyboard's just not connecting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll do 2 more. Okay, so then I've got all those there. So right now, it's just going to glitch of him going backwards. Okay, but if I take those, and if I take the speed duration, and if I take the check mark off of every other one of those, so then he's going to go forward and backwards a little bit. Alright, let me do just one more. And then if I play that through, he's going to go back and forth that way. And you could extend those out. So if I cut it at the bottom of the hill, and then again at the top of the hill, so it's longer, so he could come in and do his front flip, and then he'd go backwards into it again, and then he'd go back, and then finish out the video. So you wouldn't have to do it as many times. You could do it just like 2 or 3 times, just so he's backwards and then forward and goes away. So nothing major. So just something to think about as you're going through your as you're editing. Let me show you one other thing too, and then I'll let you loose. Out on Canvas, so on Canvas under the modules, if you'll go to down farther, I found a couple of videos that are cool. These extras, the next level skills. If you go into that, there's a couple of videos in there that'd be cool to watch. We don't have time to get into them. This speed ramping, the whole frame is kind of what we did today, but this speed ramping is really cool. So if you're doing something in slow motion, you know how we cut it last time and just stretched it out, or you can shrink it up to make it slower or faster. This speed ramping, instead, so it doesn't go like at 100% speed and then all of a sudden go down to 25% speed. The speed ramping makes it go from like 100, like you're going at 100, and then all of a sudden you drop down, like it's a curve to get down to where you want to slow down, and then it curves back up to get to go faster. Does that make sense? Remember how we did that at the volume levels? When we dropped, you can do the same thing with the speed. You can ramp up and ramp down. So that's a good one to watch. Check that out. It's like 5 or 6 minutes. The hold frame. And then this one's kind of a cool one. I've never taught this or done this. This is the freeze frame sequence. You have to have a pretty steady hand. But you can do this. See how it's got the multiple motorcycles in there? You can do that with somebody running, somebody moving, and it like leaves a segment of them behind. That's a cool one too to watch. You don't have to watch these, but a couple minutes long, it'll enhance your skill.